Hi guys, this is Vera Silverman on a beautiful Friday afternoon with amazing friend of mine, Amanda Baklichuk, who also goes by the Coach Amanda. So why are we so excited to get and share this with you today? Because yesterday I was chatting with Amanda, and obviously now we're trying to stay isolated, so we're talking on Zoom, and she did something with her hand. Can you show us what did you do? Like with this?
Yes.
Yeah, with this. And she will tell you about this. Well, I actually can't do this. I can just hold it. But she can tell you actually why she's so excited about this very little fine motor skills. And that brought us to the notion, that's what we're talking about, the notion of self-love, self-commitment. And that self-love and self-commitment with actually maybe self-empathy or just general empathy, which led to multiple life choices and actually led to multiple life changes. But with these life changes, it actually led to multiple physical changes. And, you know, around it, overall of it changed, it led to an absolute, a different perspective and a different inner energy and different spiritual energy and different degree of life attitude and positivity. And that's what actually strikes me in the journey with Amanda. I'm sure you probably know by now or knew and stuff. You know, I'm so personally drawn to Amanda. We became very close friends. And initially it all started with me seeing that, I don't know, just internally acknowledging this girl needs help. Not my help, but it kind of, I gotta help. Like, it's like, not that I gotta help, but it's like, how can I help? How can I love on her? It's like, what can I do? So anyway, so you know, Slough, like we are together, intertwined for a year. And so now she's showing me those things with a pen. So you girl, you tell us, what is it all about? Tell us why. I noticed it. I simply noticed it yesterday. I asked you, I said, what's up with it with the hands?
Right.
Because the hands look steady.
And I wasn't as shaky. You noticed like my body posture and I wasn't as like wobbly.
Yeah. So you go, girl. You tell us, like, you know, why is it so exciting? What is it so different?
Right? What's so exciting? Hi, everybody. And if you don't know me, I'm Amanda Baklichuk, like Sabetta said. And I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis just about 14 years ago now. And it's been a journey of trying many different things. And coming to the place that I'm at has really allowed me to realize that healing is a balance and it's a journey. And when you balance one area, it flows into the other, and you keep doing it in many different things. Like Sveta was talking about self-love and the food, the nourishment that we give our bodies, and the exercise and the movement of our bodies, you know, and I'll go into that with you a little bit. And then really taking care of ourselves, you know, learning to upregulate ourselves and supplementing them so they can do that properly. And so what's really super exciting about the pen thing, you're right. I'm super excited. And you're like, oh my gosh, you can twirl a pen. Congratulations. No, this fine motor ability to be able to hold the pen in my hand, to do it first was realized by something simple as a spoon and a fork and a knife, because there was a time where I couldn't even cut my own meat. Like, you know, when I'd sit down to have a burger or something, I don't eat a bun, so I would like cut it, you know, and I couldn't do that at one time. And so now, you know, when I was sitting eating the other day, I was like, I just spun this in my hand and was able to cut this. This is exciting. And you know, when you hand somebody something and you don't hand it like this, but I was able to turn it in my hand and hand it to them without it hitting the floor. That was super exciting. It stayed in my hand. And
so hang on. Let me, sorry, but to interrupt you, because you are holding a spoon. So now we're kind of into the foods. And, obviously, since the beginning, when we met for the first time, we were talking food, but it didn't resonate with you. That's a journey. That's a journey. So it's like in the last couple months, you change your menu. You change your food, your table foods. Talk to us a little bit about it.
I would do that once in a while, Sveta. I did, when I first met you, I would do it occasionally. Like I was like, oh, I'll eat right for like a week and I'll avoid that for a week. And then I was listening to a podcast once and it said that if you intake flour or any of those things, flour, for instance, it takes 6 months, 3 to 6 months for it to actually leave your system, 3 months for it to actually leave your system. And so they're like, if you eat flour once in 3 months, that all you'd have to do is eat it 4 times a year and you have the gluten in your body for a year. So it's really, then you're not gluten free, right? And that kind of struck me. I just thought that you would digest your food and it would leave. And so when you binged on something or you ate a soup that had flour in it or something like that, it was no big deal. It is a really big deal. And so I started really paying attention to what I was putting into my body. And as I did that, and as I, for me personally, it works. I'm not guaranteeing that this works for everybody, but for me, what I did is I cut gluten out of my diet. I'm very cautious into reading labels. And when I make a lot of my own things, I'm reading what's in it and really looking to nourish my body in the best way possible for it to digest. So I do a lot of smoothies and I do a lot of spinach salads. And if you're like, oh my gosh, I don't do that, do it with some fruit on top. So good. There's lots of unique ways, and I'm still learning and I'm not perfect, but I'm learning. And every day I learn something new. And over time, that will be a lot of new things. In a year, if you learn one new thing, 365 days of the year, that's 365 new things that you learned that year. So that's pretty awesome. And so just really watching the foods that I eat and increasing that nutrition is so important, because if your body doesn't have the minerals and the nutrients, and oh my gosh, if you see my video on me eating too many nuts and I made my tongue go numb, right? Like, it's learning. I learned that you shouldn't eat that many Brazil nuts. So, you just learn and go. And so I'm just like you, and I'm just learning. And but learning to value yourself was probably the first step. Learning to appreciate my body and love myself enough to know that I wanted to give my body something to work with, and that I was valuable enough to do that. I would do things for everybody else. I would figure out if someone else needed a different meal or somebody else needed to eat something different. I would do that for them. But when it came to myself, I would just, whatever was left would work. And I guess it's a typical mom thing, but I'm more valuable than that. And so I really want to take care of my body and to do that. And so I would love to encourage you too. Eat the foods that allow you to feel good. Not just feel good in that second, like, oh, I'm going to get a sugar craze. I don't eat sugar anymore. It slices your mouth. Do you know how disgusting it is? To eat it after you're used to not, and once it's out of your system, it actually isn't as good as you think it is, and food is changing in taste for me. Things at one time that I would have said to you weren't my favorite, now I love them so much because they're so good. And not that they're just nutritionally good for me, but they taste good because my taste buds are changing and my body is cleansing. And that is super exciting to do that. And then it allows me to do things like exercise. You
What
know,
happened on the bike?
oh my gosh, if you guys are following me, you saw that I sat on a bike and I kind of like was able to like my legs, my tendons were loose enough for my kids to do full rotations. Well, now I can sit on the bike. And yesterday, not only did my feet stay in the feet pedals by themselves, I was able to keep them in there. I was able to do a full rotation by myself. That was incredible. Okay. So it's just taking that one step further. And so for me, that's exciting. Maybe a recumbent bike isn't your thing, and maybe walking is, whatever. Walk a little bit further. You know, the only person you have to do better tomorrow than yesterday or any day is yourself. It's your own standards, right? And so I'm able to do those things and see the progress, and it shows that what I'm doing is working. And so that's awesome.
But
And
you remember what you were telling me yesterday, that there's nothing about yesterday. Like you were telling me yesterday, but there's nothing about the past.
yeah, I'm really working on, we talked about doing this video for you guys, and I said I really wanted to be aware of, a lot of people would ask me my story, and I was very good at going into my story and sharing all about what once was, not saying what once was. I would put myself there as if that was happening now. And I've now learned the power of the mind, right? Your thoughts create things, and your thoughts create emotions, and emotions create the motion of your life. And so if I was constantly taking myself back that way, I would gladly share my story with you. And I didn't realize that as I did that, I took my body back there too. And so when we were talking about doing this video for you guys, yeah, I can tell you that at one time in the past, I couldn't do this. But now going forward, I can do it more and more. My writing is becoming neater. My fine motor skills are getting better. You know, the only sad part about all of that is my puppy is really sad because I drop so much less on the floor when I'm cooking than I used to. And she gets really sad about that. She sits on my chair at the bottom by my wheels just waiting for me to drop stuff because she would totally kindly clean it up for me. And that doesn't happen, not near as much as it used to, as it was then. And so I'm just really diligently focusing on looking at where I'm going, talking about where I'm going, and living in the excitement of what's happening. And just allowing myself to believe that it's possible so that it can keep going.
Absolutely. Are we walking together?
On stage.
We're working together on stage.
Yes. And
All right.
I'm excited. I'm totally excited. And just, I am one person, but the more I connect with more people that have been through journeys, everyone doesn't have the same, although, you know, right? We all walk through different journeys, but to see people that have overcome obstacles like I am, and that I, you know, have, and that I continue to do, is really inspiring. And so if you ever feel in a place of, you know, I want to use the word stuck, not knowing where to go, or not feeling that it's possible for you, the internet is a beautiful thing, because I bet you that there's somebody out there who has done it. And so find them, look up their stories, and focus on what's possible, because the how isn't your job, right? The how, leave that up to a power that is far greater than you or I. You know, if you would ask me how these are all happening, I don't know, other than the steps I told you. Love it, learning to love myself, shifting my food and my nutrition that I'm giving into my body, exercise, moving your body. You know, even if it's something called Qigong, if you've never heard of it, just move the energy. Yoga, you know, there's so many options now. And then upregulate your cells. You know, find the supplements or the ways to remove the oxidative stress out of your cells so your cells can do what they were designed to properly do. And that's heal. That's to be healthy. It takes more energy for all of you listening to be sick. than it does to be healthy. And so if you weren't using that extra energy to stay sick, then imagine what you could do in life. It's incredible. And so I'm enjoying the process of finding out. And I look forward to sharing mindset shifts. And, if you're tuning into this, when we post this up today on Facebook, tonight I'm offering 15-minute session on shifting your mindset. If that's something that interests you, pop on and join me. If you're looking for more information, private message me and on Facebook, and I will, connect with you and give you the links. But, your mind it's what you start at the starting line with. And if you think you can, you're right. If you think you can't, you're right. So why not think you can? And everybody, we have all this time right now to sit at home and to hang out and to read and listen and grow. Do that. You're worth it. That's all I got.
You are amazing. Thank you. It is such an inspiration. It's such a positivity, the energy. I cannot wait for the recording, and I cannot wait to post the recording anywhere I can stick it. Thank you so much. I love you, and I will see you today, shortly after 7 p.m. at your presentation. Love you.
It's going to be so fun. Love you guys. Head up. You can do this.